station shoutouts and requests. Get them heard on the Rock and Rumble Show with Jack Chandler.
We're online.
Yes.
In your face. All over the place.
Yeah, Jack Chandler. I can't do his voice, Pete, but I'm trying my best. Can we do a Jack Chandler voice? Can we do one? No? Come on, give it a go. Come on, give it.
There's only one Jack Chandler.
There's only... I know, but come on, let's do it. Let's do it, because I know this will tickle in pink.
Really?
Well, something like that. Can we do... fuck it. Can we just say something in a Jack Chandler voice? I don't know. Just say anything in a Jack Chandler voice.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Well, I've got to do it. Oh, all right then.
Yeah, but it's a we.
Oh, sorry.
That was a real we, wasn't it?
Okay. I'm Jack Chandler, and I'm going to do you some rock and rumble on a Saturday night. Yeah. How's that?
Very good.
People in the chat room, I got Jack on. Oh, I've got Jack on. Hey?
Couldn't tell the difference.
Fuck me, that's good. Excuse me, it's made my throat go. Just got a email from Kevin in Dudley. Kevin says, I love this fucking show. I'm listening to it right now on Blue Mountain. Cheers, Kev. Nice one, Kev. We're listening. He says, I've got a clue what the fuck you're doing, but it sounds good. Cheers, Kev. We haven't got a clue.
Same as us, mate.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue either. Don't know. Jack Chandler's come back with, not bad, mate. Hey, look, we got it going on. I love Jack's show. I think it's great.
It was great, yeah.
Talking about shows and all that, Sasha Cooper's got a brand new show, The Night Owl, coming up this Sunday. Following that on Monday, we got Matthew Meadows, Rango the dog. Arr, arr. Watch out, he bites hard. You see my little sound effect in the middle there, Pete?
Very good.
With Rango the dog. You see what I did there?
Chihuahua.
It was. And I tell you, did you listen? You did. I know you did.
I did.
You were there. You listened to Monday's show.
I've got my therapy session coming next week.
Man, I was mind-fucked. What was he talking? I've got no idea. But there was a bit there where he was making a bit of sense, where he was... Well, actually, it was a bit untrue. A lot of it was sense, but it's just that the way he puts it around in his words, that it makes no sense, if that makes any sense. But there was a bit in there where he was talking about Facebook and YouTube and Reverb Nation and how much of a scam he feels it is, because it's his words, ladies and gents, not ours. But I happen to agree with him. And he was making a point there about bits and pieces to do with it. And that is what Rango and Muzzled is all about. He just comes on, shouts and screams at people, plays a bit of music, gives us his attitude, and then turns the lights off, puts his earplugs in and hums slightly in the corner. Carry on.
As you said, sorry.
Yeah.
But at the core, there's always an important point.
Yeah.
That we just cannot disagree with.
And what was this week's important point?
Well, it was the sort of, all the artists and that, they're using all these so-called tools and all this thing, and they're just basically getting exploited.
Yeah.
There's nothing there for them, really.
Well, it's something that we were jumping on a little while ago, mate, wasn't it? We were saying, like, it's like we were talking about just now, my tongue-in-cheek thing there about a voting thing and a chart show, which, of course, you probably realised by now I was taking the piss. But, well, I hope you did, because I was. Because, really, all of that bullshit doesn't work. And when you've got places like Reverb Nation and so forth, encouraging you to go in there and spread the good word of the host site, that's
exactly
doing not a great deal for you, really, just filling your head full of bullshit, really. And,
it just makes free promotions for themselves, doesn't it, for the site? That's all it is.
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, I think Matt was I think he was riding his Rango really well that night. So it was a really good show. I really enjoyed that. And then Tuesday, my God, Tuesday night we had the one and only Bands and Silk. Well, sorry, I beg your pardon, Nevermore and Silk, as is known in those circles, doing the Loving the Alien show, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And Pete, you were saying some nice words off air just now.
I did enjoy it. It was quite compelling sort of listening. I must admit, I thought, because although I have an interest in sort of subjects that come the alien, supernatural, sort of don't believe in the same things they do. So I thought, well, maybe after a quarter of an hour I'm going to get a bit bored with this, and my mind will go elsewhere, But it was an hour and a half, and I was glued right to the end. It was good stuff.
Yeah, you were. You were right in there, weren't you? With all
yeah. I didn't obviously agree with anything they said, but you had to listen. It was great.
But it's all. Well, I'm not going to say that expression again. It's different things for different people, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's what works and what doesn't, and I think they approached the subject really well, because they were talking about these campers that go into the woods in this mountain. Where was it? Where was it in France? Where was it,
Russia.
guys? In Russia. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
And what actually happens to them, and all the weirdness that happens. Now, I'm not going to spoil the plot. The best thing to do is come to our site at audioburger.com and click on Loving the Aliens previous radio shows, and you'll hear it. And it sent shivers down my spine, man.
Did it?
And I was, yeah, honestly, because the thing that did it, yeah, it did, cheeky. Because the thing is that this is a real story that the government and everything, the Russian government, totally washed their hands off and said, look, we're not getting into this, and and all the rest of it was really spooky. And I listened to it again, and I was even compelled to listen to it a third time, and it's really made me think about this sort of stuff. So, yeah. Next week we got some more ghoulishness and a bit of the old conspiracy dropping in, maybe aliens, UFOs, and a touch of the paranormal dropping in each and every one of their shows. And I can't.
The thing I like about this show as well, they don't say, this is alien, this is supernatural, blah blah. They put all the, the possible reasons for something, and discuss them. Dismiss them if they think that's right. They look from all angles, which is good.
Yep.
It's a fair sort of look at everything, isn't it?
And that's what caught your attention, because it wasn't all pro this, pro that, pro the other. It
No,
was
exactly. Yeah. That's it. They look at it from my angle of view and every bit of angle you can think of, and it's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah, we had a good little crowd in the chat room for that as well, so that was really good. So that's excellent. So check it out on podcast, why don't you? And if you're in a mood to do that on a Tuesday night, they'll be back this coming Tuesday. Going to play a little bit more music. Going to play the Tonics because we haven't, and it's a predictable track. I'm going to play by the Tonics. If you don't know what it is, you will do in a minute. Here we go. It goes a little bit something like this.
Going out, but it's getting late.
dear, sorry about that. I was just trying to stifle a bit of laughter. There we go, the Tonics and Weather. Of course, that's an old track from way on back. And Mizzy in the chat room go, oh, this sounds a bit like Reputation. Dear, I nearly strangled her. But there we go, the Tonics and Weather, which of course leads us on to our next subject, which is predictable as ever. And I guess you know it's coming, so let's hit you with the bombard of the cavalcade of the snow. It's about the snow. Now, it was interesting to note, Pete, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here just for a second. I'm going to get on my conspiracy soapbox, and I would love Baz and Silk to jump in on this one in the chat room and, you know, tell me to shut the fuck up. But it goes a bit like this. Oh no, that's your job. It goes a little bit like this. Right. Earlier on this evening, there was a big news special about the weather, right?
Okay.
And there was lots of glitzy, nice little pictures about people sliding down hills and in sledges and what have you. A slight little bit there about the travel disruptions, and a lot of it was very pro and upbeat because, of course, the whole country is being endeavoured by snow, and they don't want to bring you down. So the good old BBC, good old Auntie Beeb, turns around and goes, "Hey, don't worry, everybody, it's only snow." Right? Brilliant. Yeah. Good old BBC. And then they slightly diverted then, and they showed this big picture of the globe. Right? And on this globe they showed the atmospheric changes of, and I'm saying change because it has changed over the last few years, of how I think they call it the drifts. Please, tell me what I'm doing wrong here, Baz and Silk, because I'm sure you got the right words for this. But they were like the currents, the thermal currents that go around the globe, which actually depicts what kind of weather you're going to be having. Okay. Now, these thermal currents weren't always that way. Otherwise, we would have been experiencing sub-zero fucking Arctic weathers for years. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some parts, and Stu and Rach, hello Rach in the chat room, will bear me out here because up in the northeast of the UK, there are some severe fucking snowstorms up there, and it really gets. I used to live up that way, so I know. But most of the country doesn't really get that, you know. No. But now all of the fucking country's getting that, and the way they didn't give any explanation why there's a change in these thermal currents. They just said, "Hey, it's changed." Oh, brilliant! So now expect it. It's now going to happen. But why is it changing? Right. Go on. Have you got an idea?
Well, it's just evolution of something, isn't it? Everything changes. The planet changes. But you say like the whole country's gets it, but we hardly ever get snow down the south. This is like a one-off. You might have once a year, you might hit snow if whatever. It's only because we're such a useless country that it brings everything to a standstill. Yeah, it shouldn't do. I know we've had rain, but again, like the southeast hasn't had it. So it's not like the whole country's changed.
Do you not think
it's always been there? I think it's just some years you just get more of something than others. I mean, it's only probably 3-4 years ago we were moaning because the whole summer there was no rain. We just like to moan.
Do you think it's just because there's been an extra flurry of snow happening just over the last couple of years that everyone's jumping on the conspiracy bandwagon maybe and saying, oh, something's changing? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got the global warming and all that sort of. I see Detford's mentioned it in the in the chat room, but I read somewhere that it's like the ozone layer, the hole and all that stuff is slowing down. Yeah. It's not as big as they said. It's not as bad as they say. But from week to week they come up with something new, don't they?